All right, guys, welcome back. We have a lot to get to tonight. Big weekend, a lot of tournaments locally. I posted some of those results. Those are gonna go in. I think some implications for rankings for sure. But talk of the town is Ironman. Um, yeah, welcome to the show, guys.
Let me blindside you guys, and like we did our little pre show prep, and I didn't hit you with it, but let me just blindside you with this real fast. I Here's how ignorant I really am. Here's how wrestling ignorant I really am. Well, fuck. Here's how ignorant I really am. I didn't know that forfeits counted towards your match count. That never dawned on me. No, I never knew that. I never knew that.
And when you put that in the group, I was like, "Is he fucking kidding? Is he serious?"
Dude, that is mind-boggling to me. That is mind-boggling to me.
Well,
That
I think
forfeits count.
M. Knox or Craig Anderson from you, Jim. I think it's a jingle.
Well, this is probably I mean, it's been that way forever, obviously, right? That's not like
it has been that way forever.
Now, do buys count though? Buys don't count, right?
No,
they do not.
No.
So in a tournament, you get a buy, doesn't count. In a duel,
Correct.
you get a forfeit, it counts.
It counts.
Yeah, which is also why there's a huge benefit to have a lot of
Backup.
JV kids.
Yep.
Yeah, so that you can, especially in today's, because it used to be dates, right? So again, thinking about rules that are implemented based off of like that they've been here for a while. It used to be dates, so that it wasn't about tournaments or match count. It was just by dates. So it didn't matter if you wrestled or took the forfeit because it was a date anyways on the schedule and that's all you had. Now it comes into play because if you go out there and take a forfeit, it counts towards your matches. And if you take a forfeit, you don't really want to take a forfeit. So I would expect that to be changed or tried to be changed. Speaking of, maybe we should address that first.
Yeah.
That's
before we get
crazy.
into.
Well, here.
So I have another question. Go
Wait,
ahead.
hold on.
Jim.
Let me clear the ear first, though. Like, we're saying buys do count.
They don't count.
I mean, buys do not count. BYEs
No.
do not count.
Correct.
But listen, Aunt Tammy, buys, BIs, you count. You count.
So, myth or urban legend? Does a team have to wrestle X amount of duels, or can wrestlers just compete in individual tournaments?
There's no IHSA bylaw about competing in dual meet.
Okay.
All right. Well, here, let me just put this out. So I'm talking to my friend Michael Harrow, who's a Byron coach, been a Byron coach for quite some time today, or quite some time now, and he was telling me that their team is lacking people, like they're down on numbers. And then he says, I feel bad. We go to a place and these kids are getting these buys, and there goes their match count. And that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, shit, I literally never knew that. So like they're down numbers wise this year. And I'm not saying they're down quality. I'm saying they're down numbers, quantity, not quality. And then they go wrestle. Like Dakota's down this year, big time. I think they have 6 people. So who's going to schedule? And that's not like a secret. I mean, everybody knows that early on. Who's going to schedule a duel with Dakota if 4 kids are going to get, or more than that? How many weight classes are there? 14?
Yeah.
Or 14? I mean, yeah. So
10.
that's hard. That's a hard sell, right?
Here's the other hard part: is some of these schools are forced to duel other schools based off of conferences. Well, let's just jump into that whole the IHSA thing. So apparently, the IHSA has passed the new bylaw for
right to play is what they call it.
That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what's your guys' understanding as to the implication?
It allows athletes to compete for their travel team or league in 2 events during the regular season with their coaches and school district's permission. They can compete in a third event as long as it is governed by the main sanctioning body of that sport. So like in our world, the third event would have to be a USA Wrestling event.
It couldn't be NHSA.
I'm sorry, Mark.
I thought our governing body for IHSA, like for folk style, is not USA Wrestling, isn't it?
It is per Sam Knox, it has to be USA Wrestling.
Yeah, I think that was just the fact that they added that caveat because so many kids are able to wrestle in like freestyle national events that take place throughout the season, right? But when it comes to the team stuff, the two like wrestling is different because you can just go compete by yourself. What's the whole point of like a club team or
it's not, you have to compete. So like, let's say that somebody signed up under Relentless. So like that's their off-season club that they compete with, that they're affiliated with for tournaments in the off-season. Well, if Relentless has taken 2 kids to Tulsa, then you can sign up under Relentless and go compete for them for your
But what if you just signed up by yourself? What you don't have to sign up for.
That's a little bit of a gray area. I don't know, but the way the wording is it's with your travel club team, whatever the affiliation is,
which is interesting.
Hey, you can says it's with a travel team.
What do you think here, Mark? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Mark. What do you think? Do you think that this rule is primarily because of wrestling? What sport is like pushing this type of rule change? Like what caused this?
Well, I think that it's a lot of them. Primarily, if you have a child that competes in, I don't know, gymnastics or cheerleading, baseball, AAU basketball stuff. For high school, we don't get in season a lot of events outside of like the U15 Tulsa stuff. What is there? Yeah. Somebody will put something together now, right? Yeah. But if you look at like let's look at like cheerleading. Like you have like in this area you have like ICE, which is out of Barrington, I think, and then you got like Twisters Elite. You got a ton of them. If you compete according to IHSA, you cannot compete with your club at all. And they have a ton of competitions they're in. And there's full-on high school seasons for club cheerleading. And those girls cannot compete for IHSA. Well, now they can do the IHSA and do 2 events, actually a third event as long as it's through the sanctioning body for cheerleading. So baseball is very similar. Baseball, I just don't know. I don't know how baseball could work with it because they play so many fucking games during an IHSA season. They're always playing.
Especially for pitchers with pitch count.
Yeah, but I think it's got to be like a big cheerleading, gymnastics.
Yeah. Now here's the next question. Do you think that this is actually because when I first remember the right to play legislation, from my understanding, it was just that you could not be told what you could do, basically. And then it was given to IHSA to just come up with a solution, and their solution was 2 events.
I believe differently. I believe that what happened was the original idea was you can't tell kids not to compete. They have a right. So you had this extreme, and the IHSA was saying, no, they cannot. It has to be through us. So the idea that you could compete in 2 to 3 events, and then it's got to be with the club team, and a third event is allowed through your sanctioning body, was them meeting in the middle, right? So for like kids in wrestling, they're not allowing you to compete outside of 1 tournament maybe for 15 years. There is no tournaments for your club teams from November to March. There's nothing, right? So they're saying we're letting you as long as it's through your club team. Well, then does Relentless Training Center, does Izzy Style, does PSF, whatever, can they go to a college open now?
Good question.
Yeah, it's selfishly, that's all I give it. Well, selfishly, all I give a shit about is Tulsa and college opens.
Yeah, but Tulsa,
it-
you're only talking about you're talking about 15U. You know.
You're talking about
Oh, you didn't
freshmen?
see that? You didn't see
Really
there's a Tulsa 18U.
Is there?
I think
Here.
I thought that's just Reno.
say Reno's had that, but
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't open up an 18U if more states would do this.
Yeah, I mean, Tulsa would be huge. I mean, I think Tulsa would be bigger than the Ironman, to be honest.
I think most states
Probably
already
better
allow
officiated.
I don't know about that. They might have smaller circles. Don't they have little circles out there in Tulsa?
Yeah, dude, it would be
No,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of states that do, like, it's not it's been that way forever. Like, there's a lot of states that are like, hey, these are your kids. You guys do what you want. That's the majority of the country. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at it right now is that you're going to need to find clubs that don't have a horse in the race as a IHSA coach, so that you can then turn up and have your club. You won't be able to do D1s. It'll be opens that are D2 and D3 and JUCOs and AIs, because the D1s aren't going to let you in because you don't do anything for their RPI. When it comes to the Big Tens, does this make sense to you guys? So like this year at Midland is an open. They did not allow D2s, D3s, JUCOs or NAI programs.
Same with
Because
CK.
Yeah.
And that's they're not going to allow them in. It's only going to be D1 because though if you beat a kid that's D2, even if he's a returning 2-time D2 champ, it doesn't benefit you on the RPI rank for getting into the NCAAs. But if you lose to them, they could use it to get, so they don't even allow it. The coaches will not allow it. It's not even the NCAA, it's the coaches. It's the tournament directors. They're not doing it. They're not going to let them in. So you basically need to join a club, or like have your club, even if they coach IHSA wise, say like, hey, on this weekend we go to, I don't know, the McHenry Open.
Mark, did you lose us? Did we lose you again?
No.
Oh, you were on a good rant and you just.
Well, no, because you were pointing at something.
Oh no, you were talking clubs and stuff. You mentioned everybody. I was like, come on, give me a shout out, Mark.
Oh, it's cool golfing.
Let's go golfing. Yeah.
Who's super involved in wrestling that's not hooked up with the high school in any way, shape, or form?
Who believe that the IHSA has any? I think that the first year or two you'll be able to like manipulate the rule a little bit, but I think that they'll come down and be like, the club team coach can't be an actual high school an IHSA coach in season.
Yeah. But don't you also think like don't you think that this is like the dam kind of breaking? Like once you give somebody something, they're going to be like, wait, why would I go wrestle at that tournament or for that team when these two tournaments were worth the entire 4 months of my season?
And see, everybody's got to remember how this all got started too. There was someone that tried pushing a bill through the state, and at the 11th hour, it was going through. At the 11th hour, the IHSA stepped in and said, time out, we got this. So they wanted to be the ones to approve it in their bylaws and not have it pushed through the state, because they knew that was opening up the lid to Pandora's box.
Yeah. Which I think Pandora's box is cracked open, and this is gonna slow the transition, but it's definitely happening already.
And I'm impulsive and I want it now. And that's the problem. This Pandora's box will open up. It's opening up. But at what point does it get to the point where it's what is actually truly the best thing for the kids and allows the higher level? Because let's be honest, sending your one-time state qualifier with 32-13 record to the Cyclone Open is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
Right? It is. It doesn't.
But we're not just talking the Cyclone Open or college opens. We're talking about like the versatility of club wrestling in general versus high school wrestling, right? Like,
yeah. Well, the big problem is too, I don't think like, and it's not another shot at the IHSA, but I don't know that it always benefits like what it's supposed to be benefiting, like the ASPCA, with Sarah McLachlan music and the dog and the snow and shit.
With Birdie.
If you put different music on, hell, it looks like my backyard. You know what I mean? Just don't play in Arms of an Angel. You know, those dogs are fine, man. Like, and then you donate this money.
Well,
huh? No, I'm not dogging. No, I'm not. No, I'm not dogging her. I'm not. But
well,
you know what I mean? Like, the money doesn't go to the dogs. I promise. Like,
I definitely want to explore this in a yak session, but I think that this is going to open up conversation about like alternative seasons, alternative competitions, alternative like perspectives of how you can like train and compete in wrestling in a calendar year. And because the yak session I really want to get into is about how some of these smaller programs that don't have skilled coaches and they don't have systems in place to kind of like, you know, schedule stuff according to development or just anything. Those kids kind of get shafted and then they don't get better. And I'm seeing it firsthand in a couple of different places. So we'll definitely have to explore this idea, but we'll see how the whole rule change happens. But I did hear.
Cool.
Go ahead. Sorry, Jim.
I'm sorry. It'd be cool to do a like a yak session, but live one of these days, like where like people can like you know, because there's some guy right now, like when he sees this live, when he sees this when you like send it, there's somebody sitting at home like that has a real good point, right? Like, well, what about this or that? And I think it's cool to interact. We gotta keep Stewie to keep his religious beliefs, you know, down if we're gonna go live.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
A live yak session with you, we could end up in fucking jail.
We could. Yeah.
Or kicked off.
Yes, FCC get involved and everything else.
Yeah.
Aidan, yak session means yards after catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Again, with that other rule, you know, I don't know if you guys had any takes on this, but they expanded the high school football state qualifiers. So I was thinking to myself, are we going to go up from 3 classes to 6 classes here soon?
So you could basically, you could have a record of 2 and
I'm saying wrestling.
7.
In wrestling.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah.
Are we going to turn into Georgia here soon? Everybody gets to go to state everybody's a state qualifier.
Yeah.
No, but
a lot of sweatshirts made.
A lot of sweatshirts are sold. That's for sure.
Art did tell me a few years ago when I was like venting to him about the 3-class system and about some of these kids standing on a podium and they're fucking, I'm sorry, some of them are dog shit and don't deserve to ever have a state medal. I'm sorry. They don't. I was venting about it, that I thought how much better I felt the 2-class system was. And he said, Mark, you will have a 4-class. There will never be a 2-class system again. There will definitely be a 4-class system at some point.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, it seems like inflation, right? Like your money is worth less each and every year. And when you think of like what we came from the 2-class system. So when we were in high school, there was only 2 classes and it was extremely brutal. So when we think of state medals and how difficult they were to obtain, we put those on a pedestal. Like we think like, oh, state placing is hard to do because it was really tough. And now year after year, they add more state medals. And so it loses value. And what you said, like some kids they're not as good as we want that medal to mean. And because what it means is you put in a lot of work and a lot of dedication, a lot of time, energy, and now somebody that, you know, doesn't do that might get an award. And it's unfortunate. I don't know. I think that's another component of Pandora's box opening. I think that he's probably right. They're never going to go back to 2 classes, but more and more time will go by and they're going to make it less valuable to be a state placer or a state champ. Maybe they turn out, 60 state champs every year or something like that. And then and then there's no value. So, wrestling is unique. I don't know about other sports. Like maybe you guys have a better perspective on this, but wrestling is unique. Like we chase the best. Like we want to find the baddest person at the weight class, and we want to compete with them. So we are entirely focused on the ego aspect of like, no, we want to know that we're the best. We don't want to know that other people have the same title. So like, do you see that in other sports at all? Like,
no, because there's classes for everything. I mean, there's
but
you get right down to motorsports have different classes. Of course they do. Like cubic centimeter like restrictions or cubic inch restrictions. You know what I mean? So there's classes for everything. But that's why, like, remember when the UFC first came out, there was no weight classes, there was no nothing, there was no time limit. It was just like you lock these guys in a cage and somebody wins. That was definitely more of a pure outcome, right?
Yeah.
You had one champ.
Style, not everybody was trained in every type of combat.
Yeah. Now, of course, it's evolved, and it's sometimes maybe evolution isn't always the best thing, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
I like football, and I think in football sometimes it's very rare, but you do occasionally see a team from a smaller class that wants to play the bigger power schools because they believe they are a better program, even though they have less bodies to pick from. But you don't see it very often anymore.
No. No, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, here, like, we all had a German Shepherd growing up, right? All our parents had a German Shepherd. Like, that dog didn't have hip dysplasia. That dog didn't have an extreme sloped back. You look at these pot lickers now, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the dog's got hip dysplasia at 4 years old, but he doesn't shed as much as the dog in the 70s. What good is that? You know what I mean? Like, your mom's got a vacuum. Mom's got a vacuum. Like, dogs are going to shed. Fuck. Same but different. Same but different. Yeah.
Well, guys, maybe we can jump into the reason for coming together. Ironman, 2025 Ironman finished up. Illinois had now I forget 12 or 13 placers, 2 champs, Dom Munaretto and Wyatt Medlin. Narden, you were on site for this. How was the tournament?
It's an awesome tournament. It's just from the very first whistle there was high level wrestling, so it's pretty cool to see. There definitely is. You can go through and pick out some kids and be like, all right, this guy probably shouldn't be here. But overall, like, pretty much everyone there is a high-level wrestler.
That gym during the finals is pretty crazy, isn't it, Nardog?
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
When Jaden James hit that elbow throw by to win it, the place just went nuts.
Yeah, especially over Miller, right?
Yeah.
I saw that match. Yeah, I went back and watched some of those matches, but yeah, so we had 13 13 placers from the state of Illinois. Go through them. Nico Odiati, he took 5th. Caleb Noble from Warren took 3rd. Dom Munaretto took 1st. Nick Garcia, Marmion 3rd. Rocco Cassiope, Hananiga took 3rd. Wyatt Medlin, Washington 1st. Justice Heeg, Providence, lost to Wyatt Medlin in the finals. He took 2nd. Justin Warlow, Lockport took 7th. Liam Kelly, Mount Carmel took 3rd. Bruno Cassiope, Hananiga took 4th. Brody Kelly, IC Catholic, took 3rd. Jimmy Mastney, Marion Central, took 3rd. And Jackson Penovich, St. Vitor, he took 7th. So
don't we get to Luke Hamady too? I'm kidding.
He was damn close to beating Nick Singer.
Yeah.
So I saw that Illinois had they were number 2 for kids in the semis with 10, and Penn State had 11. What state had the most placers?
I think it was Pennsylvania. I
Yeah.
thought, I don't know where I saw I would assume that they did because they were the leaders going into the semis or finals, whatever I saw too. I don't know if it was accurate or what, but I would assume it was pretty good.
Also, I guess I'd lost track of the fact that Indiana had not had a single Ironman champ until this year. They had 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy to me.
Put some salt in the wound, Ealer.
Sorry, dude. It was yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, it was, yeah.
Anymore.
What'd you say, Mark?
Yeah, I don't think we need Ealer on the podcast anymore. I'm kidding. Who is their other champ other than Michael White?
Connor Maddox at 106. Good, they're good friends of ours.
Which
He Cohen Rear REER.
Yep.
Hogan beat him at Hogan Rice beat him at Grappler Fall Classic, not last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Cohen's a stud.
Yeah.
One thing I was gonna say about the 106 before you mentioned that he's a friend of the family. 106, there's a big discrepancy of talent, like wrestling talent, when you go from 106 to like the 113, 125. You start to see different wrestling. Obviously those middleweights. What weight class, Narden, do you think that you saw the most? Like, okay, these guys look like college wrestlers already.
I mean, I guess in terms of just the finals, 157, Medlin, just the hand fight. That was college level hand fight, in my opinion. And then obviously like 65, Melvin Miller and Jaden James could obviously both go compete at a very high level in college right now. But yeah, I think once you get into maybe like just beyond weights where it's like children pretty much, I think that's when you start to see it. But yeah, specifically those like 57, 65.
Yeah, I noticed there. I mean, some of those guys are wrestling in college already. I mean, that's another influence that's not talked about enough. Is like a lot of these guys who are winning, who are in the finals, they're training at RTCs throughout the summer, throughout the year. So
yeah,
pretty good.
You didn't think that like Rainey DeCrocker wasn't that. I mean, those two really stood out to me in the final. Like, not saying the match, but for college readiness, that final, like, as boring as it can be, the defense of those two is college, like off the charts. Hard to get a read on the Bassett, like Bachman, like they're both super elite.
Right.
Have an initial takedown, Bo beats the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is like DeCraker Rainey was a good one to bring up. I thought like what Rainey rode him out the entire third, right?
Yeah.
That was the most like entertaining ride out you could possibly get. Like both guys just going at it.
And the one can't get away. And the other one can't. I am let go you.
Well, Bachman rode Bo, right?
Like I mean, yeah, but he gave up 6 points in the process.
So, but let's talk. Let's talk about that. Oh my God, was that the most insane thing?
Yeah.
I
mean, the officiating.
Oh boy,
I don't even know what you really can take away from that. Like that.
Well, let me just let me get it off my chest. That way, I can like fucking be
at peace.
Yeah, let me just get it off my chest real fast. That way I can be productive to the group. The whole takedown that they didn't know, we all saw it online or whatever. Like Jimmy's whatever. That's not even the issue. The real issue is when Jimmy trips over his own feet and White locks him up in a cradle. Jimmy's 100% out of bounds.
Oh yeah,
100%. And White's feet come off the mat.
Yeah.
Now this is not the college cylinder.
Right.
We go from this. Yeah. It's not the circle to the North Pole. You know what I mean? Like in the cylinder, like the imaginary cylinder in college. This is high school. So if there's no part touching, the mat, you know what I mean? It's out of bounds.
Yeah, because
So that takedown's not even. He's not necessarily in bounds. Number one, number two, if you watch, I watched it a million times. There's 2 swipes. There's not 3. There's not 4.
yeah,
There's 2 swipes. So even if you're going to give, it's like, damn, it's like the fact that you screwed Jimmy out of the 1 takedown. There's nothing you're going to do about it. But the fact that you give a 6-point takedown on something that was like out of bounds,
yeah,
that's knucking futs.
yeah.
How's that, Dalton? You don't got to edit that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's the trouble. Like, like I said in the text, there's only a couple officials that I actually like. I think most of them are very mediocre, if not like very low level. But that's the argument. It's like, well, if we have these tournaments, we need people. Who do you get? Who wants to do it? It's like, what's the solution to the problem? And I mean, I always think that less rules in the match, like less things for the ref to do, the better. And it seems to me that like a lot of the rules always go to the opposite, where it's like, how can we get these guys to have to be more skilled, knowing that they're not going to be skilled, knowing that the high school level is going to have, on a Tuesday, Thursday night, a very low skilled person come in there, knowing that kids tournaments, whatever, like what is the actual solution? Because
I think the solution is you got to pay these guys more. Like who the tournament director or the facility or whatever, it has to be a little less greedy and just be like, hey man, like we need high level officiating. If you had a tournament that was known for high level officiating, you'd have everybody trying to get in. You'd have everybody trying to get in.
I got to assume that Ohio does what Illinois does, and there's a ranking system for these officials. And if I'm hoping, if I'm the director of the Ironman, that I'm reaching out to the highest ranked officials, but apparently that wasn't the case last week.
No, see, I don't know what podcast. Mark will know because I'll just talk about it. I was either watching Willie or Flo, and they said like they even offered, hey, listen, years in the like past practices, we always have problems with the officials. Let's get different ones. Let's get college officials in here, and and they said no. So it's kind of like a known thing.
Like you go into it knowing you're in a deficit already, because.
Yeah, but it might. Hey, but on the flip side, it might work your way. I mean, you can't.
That's Russian roulette, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be a whole yak session. Be piggybacking off Dalton and us veering off topic, but like, here's the reality of officiating, right? You get what you pay for, and on top of it, a lot of these things happen and it's so fast, right? Things get missed, but another major issue. Dude, I've been around this sport since 94. That's 31 years. And I've wrestled all over the country. And I'm not saying like I was good. But I'm saying I wrestled all over the country and I've watched a lot of wrestling as well as competed. And there is bad biases in wrestling. That's a major problem. And so when you're talking about running a tournament in another state that brings in kids from other states, the wise thing to do on a tournament of this magnitude would be to do exactly what Willie, Sailor, Justin Bash, and those guys said was you bring in outside officials from other, like it's kind of like
unbiased.
I can never remember his name, but a guy like Jeff Foxworthy, you know what I'm talking about. He's from out by Dalton. He looks just like Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh, Jeff Foxworthy. I thought you were actually talking about the comedian.
No, he looks just like him.
You're talking Giardini.
Yes, Giardini. He's now the head of the Big Ten, right? He's
not the head. He just he goes up to Wisconsin and he does evaluations for officials.
He does it at Midlands too. He's sitting in the back room with a teleprompter with all the mats.
He's one of the select that I said. I think he's high class and elite at it.
He was reffing me in college, and then it didn't matter what the call was. I was like, yeah, that's right, fucker. Like, he was very fair. He was always you knew exactly the way he called everything. And he called it the same way, no matter who wrestled, where he was reffing. It was always the same way. And he would actually talk to me why he made a call.
Yeah. And he's just to piggyback off that.
Guys like him that are not from the state of a tournament that are from, and I don't know how you go about doing that, but guys like Willie Saylor, you know, Willie Saylor would make a phenomenal, people can dislike him for his takes on shit and his personality and his food intake and whatever else they want to bitch about. But the reality is, like, the guy's very well connected in the wrestling community and he knows people. And if you gave him 2 to 3 weeks, he could come up with a pretty sick ass crew of officials from all over the country that are highly rated and highly regarded. And then that would take away a lot of this bullshit where we're saying that's not a takedown. He's still at his leg when the video clearly shows he didn't have his leg. Or where you bring a rule such as a kid's entire body's off the mat and the kid that's attempting to score cradles, feet aren't on the mat, they come off. Well, in high school wrestling, that's out of bounds. If you haven't called control, that's out of bounds. And if the feet come off, you can't then regain control and get near fall, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Well, I guess the other problem
let me ask one question real fast before I forget. Narden, was there 2 refs at every match from the whistle?
Yes.
Oh, so it wasn't just for semis and finals. There's 2 refs the whole entire day.
I believe it was. Yeah,
but two official mechanics, in theory, is a phenomenal idea. It's actually the worst idea to me. Because at big tournaments, you do not undermine your fellow official on a call.
Yeah, just gives you false confirmation.
You confirm everything he says, right or wrong, because you don't want to make him look bad.
Yeah, because you're going to be sucking suds with him in 4 hours. I mean, you're not going to make it awkward.
That was what I was about to say.
I was just going to say that two officials is a bad idea because one of them's always standing in front of the fucking camera.
Yeah, I first thing that come to mind when talking about like officials and stuff, and again, I don't know if you ever can get rid of the human component of like, okay, well, again, whether it's a confirmation, oh, buddy, you did a great job, great call, you did a great call, or if it's just like, hey, this coach has been on me all day, I don't like this guy, so I'm gonna make a call just because this guy's been on me. Very few can separate themselves from the emotion, right? Like, hey, you can call me whatever name in the book, I'm gonna call what I think I'm gonna call. Right. It's like you can't offend me. You can't hurt my feelings. You can't disrupt my attempt at calling this right. And then again, at the same time, 2 officials I mean, how many times do they just say great call, great call? It's like, it was not a great call. Just have you ever heard one official say, no, that was a bad call, John?
I doubt it. But the other thing is this too, like, if we're, like if you're watching and I'm watching, shit, I think you're watching. You're probably paying attention better than I am. So I'm not really watching because I know you're watching. And then you're thinking, well, hell, I'm watching. Yeah. That happened. I mean, that's another human thing, right? Like it's just the way it is.
And again, just the caveat, I talk to Giardini pretty often. I haven't talked to him recently, but every time I do talk to him, he's always telling me I should get into officiating. And I'm like, I don't want to do that at all. So I do recognize that it is like the worst job at a tournament is to be the official.
Yeah, but hold on. At a tournament, who gets paid at a tournament?
Yeah,
anybody else get paid there but the official? Other than the guy running track wrestling who does the tournament? No. Yeah. Everybody else there is volunteering, right? And that was my next thing I was going to bring up. Like, I work in the trades, and I have a superintendent bitch at me, and I'm like, or a lead carpenter, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you tell me this? And I'm like, well, fuck you too then, dude. Guess what? I don't get to go cry and go home. And I see all these people that say, if you want better officiatings, we can't be yelling at them. You're bullshit, I can't. Why can't I? It's a Bush League call. What are you doing? And I'm not talking about the Ironman. I'm talking about in general. If you get to go to some Saturday IKWF tournament that it doesn't affect the kid's season at all and make $300 fucking for the day, I should be able to yell at you for making shitty calls. I'm sorry.
You get yelled at more for making a shitty call at an IKWF tournament than you will the Ironman. 100%. Guaranteed. Crazy wrestler dads that aren't cool.
Well, I do think that's an interesting point. Like, I agree with you. I don't understand why people get so fired up about getting like yelled at? Like they're sitting in a corner. Why do you care? They're not like, if they come out on the mat and they try to like poke you in the chest or something, I get it. But like if they're just in the side yelling at you, why are you affected? Like put earplugs in.
Part of that's their job as a coach.
No, I'm saying the official.
I know, but what I'm saying is the coach in the corner, that's part of their job, is to heckle the official on behalf of their wrestler.
Well, I would say that here's the thing. The thing that a lot of coaches fuck up is they don't realize that if they play the kiss ass game, if they play the buddy game, that's the best way that they're going to get any type of call. It's like, hey, because that's the thing about politics. It's like, is that ever going to be ever to remove? Like, can you ever remove that from like, oh, he's my buddy. I gave, it's just, I don't know. I don't know the solution.
Like imagine if there was like an IKWF team that like put fruit baskets and whiskey in every official's referee.
They probably
or in the hotel room. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah,
there is.
Yeah, and then you can't get a stall call in the finals no matter what.
Yeah,
I will say this: in some of the locker rooms before IK tournaments, some of the stories are epic. I mean, those are the guys you want to bring on here and listen to them tell stories about some crazy wrestler parents.
Yeah,
I mean, classic.
Well, I've seen all of it too. I mean, but yeah, I mean, people grease the officials. There's always going to be that. I don't know how you get rid of it. It's just hard for people to be honest. Like that's what, when you bring up Giardini, like even if he has a bad call, I truly, as an athlete, I truly believed that he thought that. Like, I don't think he was like in his head, like, no, I fucked that guy. Right. Like, I know there's officials out there that know they're making the wrong call and they'll stick to it just because. With Giardini, like every time I've ever interacted with him, like he calls something, I'm like, I really think that he really, really thinks that that's the right call. And that's hard for people. That's hard for people to be honest.
1970s German Shepherd. You know what I mean? They're not around anymore, man.
Yeah.
And that's not true because there's a ton. Hold on, so there is a ton of good officials out there. There really is, but like the weekend in Ironman, like I'm not the only guy complaining. You know what I mean? The biting one. That's one. I mean, there's a million different calls. There's a million of them.
Yeah. So that's one that really just chaps my hide. Like, you go watch the video. Where did I see bottom teeth on the other side of the picture Gray Burnett and his dad put out, or whoever that was that put it out?
Eventually, yes.
Where's the bottom teeth?
There was. In the
but here's my thing: if you rub your hand on a saw blade, eventually it's going to get cut.
Yeah.
Or if you push hard enough.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, unless you got a chunk missing, I don't think you call anything. I think you just.
I was mat side for it. Like, I was at that mat watching. I'm not.
Why didn't you get any video or photos for us?
I was watching.
Okay.
It was
I'm not saying he did bite him, but like it didn't to me look like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put my hand in this kid's mouth and make it look like he bit me.
Yeah, but a crossface, just if you're tired late in the match and we're wrestling and somebody crossfaces you with your mouth open, like you're fighting a shot. I mean, I wear a mouth guard. So when I wear a mouth guard and I'm in on a shot and somebody crossfaces me, I'm biting down. So this happens. I'm not breathing. Like, I'm not opened up like that. So this could be solved if people just wore mouth guards. And I think that's a necessary thing.
There was 15 seconds left in that match. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling me he was winning? And with 15 seconds in the match, he said,
bite him.
forearm to stop this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he did.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, to that official, you truly believe that to that official, that with 15 seconds to go, with the kid up 1, he bit him?
Yeah, it doesn't logically make any sense.
His forearm ended up in his mouth because, like Dalton said, it's 5 minutes and 45 seconds into a barn burner of a match against one of the best kids in the country, and you're exhausted.
Yeah. Well, Mark, what were you going to say before that? We got sidetracked.
We were talking about the officiating with like I personally know an official who, because I got warned by 2 other officials, and this is just and this is the rarity, but where he didn't like a kid that I was really close with, and he said, "Listen, I'm telling you right now, tell him to stop kicking people's feet when he cuts them. I know they're not they don't want to face him, and they're not wanting to go like turn to face him because they're getting destroyed." So he was sweeping the feet like a foot sweep. And he said, this official, and I will never name his name, but he wants us to, he's been trying to push people to hit him for it and disqualify him for it. And I'm like, what? And he's like, this is the week before regionals. He was the number 9 kid in the state at the time. And it's like, he's telling people that? He's like, yeah, he thinks it's bullshit and he doesn't like it. He says, embarrassing kids, and he's going to show them. So tell him to stop. And I was like, yep. And I told the kid, like, don't do it. And he will be at the regional. And he didn't.
Well,
but that's
actually,
we say officials do have kids they don't like. Yeah. And they try to go out of their way to fuck the kid because they don't like the kid personally. That happens.
Which is 100%. And I personally think, like, back in the day when I was coming up, like, I'm so grateful that we kind of came up at an earlier stage, because I can go back and think of certain examples where I was like overly aggressive to people, and the official was so old school that they liked it. They actually liked that I was overly aggressive. And today, if you're overly aggressive, there are so many officials that want to stop you and like tell you like, oh, hey, no, don't get so tough. It's like, dude, this is hand fighting. I don't know what you're talking about, right? Or it is. That stuff is weird. Like, again, you shouldn't have an opinion on a kid if you're an official. You should just be officiating a wrestling match, right?
Objective.
But like you said, it's
Human
that's why it's
nature,
hard.
though.
Yeah, it is hard. That's why I say the less rules probably be the best situation till AI can come out with a scoring like camera that can just like, that's 2 points. That's 2 points. That's 2 points. What, Nardi, you don't like that?
There's just no way you could simplify the sport enough for that to be realistic.
You don't think I can't? Dude, I work with people that have camera integration stuff in like manufacturing plants. You don't think they could have like taken a picture of Jimmy behind the arms with all the positions?
Yeah,
and
maybe
be like,
like
that's
sure.
3
I
points.
think you could call it takedown, but could it call like?
Wait for it. It's coming, Nardog.
Hey, I'm working on it, Nardog. We got to get it.
I support your endeavor, but seems violently unrealistic.
Violently?
You know what I think's wild? You know what I think's crazy?
Adjective.
Well, he's not an offensive juggernaut, so
exactly.
Like a kid like Adam Waters, he's so good. He's been number 1 ranked for a while. I think a lot of people wanted to see a Waters match up with whether it was Waters Penovich, Waters Masney, Waters Stewart. We've all wanted to see the Illinois kid Russell Waters. He loses at Fargo. He was winning, and then Michael White puts it on him at Fargo, and then he loses. The injury defaults out. He loses at Ironman in the semis to Betts, and then he just says injury defaults out to 6th. It's like, dude, you've been training at Ohio State for months now. Like that mindset, the injury default out, I get it at times, but I just can't. And
not yet. You still have something to prove. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, dude, are you that hurt that if you can't win it, you just take 6? Because in my opinion, it's like you've already went that far. Finish the fucking tournament. It's like, what are we protecting our ranking, protecting records, or is the kid hurt? I don't know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't necessarily know.
I got a question. Here's my dad crazy wrestling math. Pronounce his name correctly for me, dog, and I'll do it after you do it. Simplak. The kid that Jimmy wrestled for. First wrestle back. Simpalak.
Yeah, Notre Dame kid.
Yep. So Waters has 6 minutes to wrestle him, beats him 6-2.
Yeah.
Jimmy has 5 minutes to wrestle him, beats him 5-0.
Yeah.
Wrestling math.
So Jimmy teched Waters is.
That's what you're saying.
I want to see that match, man. I want to see it. And the problem is, I don't think it's fate that doesn't want to see that match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily, that's the cool thing about, college wrestling. I mean, I love high school wrestling, and it's great and all, but the way that the sport has progressed, I think college wrestling is at a completely different like state, and I feel like we're just going into it. So that match is gonna happen at some point, or it's not.
Is like, does Ohio State? Okay, so he'll be at Ohio State this next year. Jim will be at Ohio State the following year. Ohio State, as of right now, won't see each other other than possibility of a national duels till the NCAA tournament. Yeah, outside of national, as of right now.
But here I think what's the California tournament? CLTV, CLV.
Yeah.
I think Ohio State ends up there eventually.
Yeah, they've been there before.
I think the reason CKLV wasn't as good this year is because national duels.
Yeah, and now that national duels is supposedly switching to this first week, CKLV might actually not be a thing.
Yeah.
The college like tournament circuit's going to change a little bit. I do think the bigger programs like the Iowa States, the Ohio States, even though they're out of conference, I do think that they're going to find ways to compete against each other. I just feel like the big brands are going to find ways to do it.
Yeah,
I think it makes sense at least.
Yeah, the national duels, the way national duels is set up is that you have to have a certain criteria to get into it, right?
Yeah, top.
Like this past year, Iowa State didn't meet the criteria. I still can't figure that out.
They didn't get selected from the random draw.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, there was like a final however many spots available, and a certain number of teams met the criteria for that, and they drew for it.
Okay.
But again, they're going to be. I mean, just talking to Iowa State specifically, like, there's a really high chance that they're going to be competing for a trophy this year. So if they are even close to a trophy, what is it? Top 10 automatically get in?
Something like that.
Yeah. So top 10 automatically get in. So I do like the fact that they have to compete to get into it. That's another aspect of it that would be cool. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe who's number one will come back around. But even then, now you can't consider Mikey White not in the top.
There needs to be a 4-man round robin with Tanner Hodgins, Waters, White, Jimmy.
Well, let's speak of that. So let's not have it specific to 190 and Jimmy. But like, what do you think? Let's start with Mark, because Mark's always got something to say. What do you think the best way to actually like do a top ranking? Because right, who's number one is just a 1 versus 1. They just pick, and it's not necessarily 1 versus 2, right?
Yeah,
correct.
It's not. I'd say half the matchups every year at minimum are not the 1 versus 2, right? The other thing about the ranking, like, okay, who's number one is Flo's opinion on who's number one, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Second of all, how do you determine number one? Because are we looking at folk style only? When we look at that ranking, are we looking at folk free? Because the reality is that I love Greco. But the vast majority of people could give a shit about it, especially today. So what's the ranking based off on who's number one? Who's the best? Folk free, or is it folk? It's folk free. And then the ranking, but you're trying to determine in the middle of a folk style season who's number one. How do you rank them? I don't know. And then the way would be to get all the top 4 kids in the country, according to take Matt Scouts, Flo. Who else does them?
Well, let me say this: since you're bringing up a platform, that takedown media, the Jesse Smith guy, he overdoes it. He does Greco only, freestyle only, folk style only. He's the only guy out there doing 3 different like.
What platform is he on? I don't know that I've seen his stuff.
He's on Rockfin. It's like
Okay.
TKDN Media.
Check it out right
now. He does. I think that's like, I know. So I don't know what people do think of him or don't think of him, but like, he's does extra work, man. He'll do a whole, and he explains rankings, which like not on a pot, like in writing. He explains them, and I don't know. I think that guy's doing more legwork than damn near anybody.
Is he better than R1A rankings?
No,
nothing's better than R1A rankings.
I was going to say, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, talking about AI again, I think AI is definitely going to be able to do a better job than all of us.
Not a chance, because they won't know when if Devin either has the flu or not. We do.
Yeah, but that means that doesn't matter because the flu can't. Michael Jordan had the flu; he still had to win the championship.
He was hungover.
That too. But he was probably both. But at the end of the day, I think rankings have to come always down to. What were you about to say, Mark?
The flu game wasn't the NBA Finals game.
No, it's the was it Pacers game? No, it was. I thought it was in the finals, but either way, it was an important game that he had to win, regardless of how he felt. Right. So at the end of the day, to be the best, you have to have a situation that's going to come up where you're not feeling the greatest, and you got to figure out if you can make it the day. So with rankings, I think I guess my question is, think about the Ironman. What would the significance have to be in order for Waters to have wrestled on the backside?
I don't think there's anything significant enough for him.
Because at the NCAA, it's got the team component. And so when guys lose, they just continue to battle, and they have messed up knees. They have messed up shoulders. They do whatever that takes to keep wrestling all the way back to third. Obviously, pride, I think, at the NCAA tournament is a big thing. Like third at the NCAA Division I tournament matters, right? And so I guess that's the question is, how do you get a tournament to matter so much that people are willing to like batter and bruise their body to get third, even if they can't win it?
Well, once you're committed to a major Division I program and you've got a sick-ass NIL deal and a scholarship,
yeah,
there isn't one.
Yeah, good point.
Or Big Tens, right? A kid might, if he's on the brink, he's on the bubble of getting into the NCAAs, regardless of how he feels after taking an L, he's going to try to wrestle back to get to that tournament. You know what I mean? But outside of that, I don't think there is one.
Then why'd Jimmy wrestle back?
It's about doing the right thing, the next best thing. Not everybody has that same mindset. Dude, I tell you why. You want me to tell you why? Because it really fucking sucks losing a match in the semis the way he lost. And that's really hard to put your work boots back on and get back out there and grind. And you do it because it makes you a better person. And it's just a test of his resiliency. That's my.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of hearing that word.
Yeah, well, I mean, personally, I think I always got. I don't know. I personally actually enjoyed the backside of the tournament. Calm down,
not me. I texted him. I texted Jimmy and said, medically forfeit out. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, I was the polar opposite of what, like, go back to, and now looking back, of course, I was wrong because I was thinking a little bit emotionally, but.
There might have been some side convos had if we needed an intervention or not that day. Yeah. I can neither confirm nor deny.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting conversation to know what is like, quote unquote, the right thing to do. Because again, there's definitely ways that it could probably go the wrong way, right?
Yeah. Well,
sure.
I don't know. I think
I don't know.
Well,
wrestle that tournament again. You wrestle that tournament again. There's different results.
Yeah, we would have to look through all the brackets to see, who continue to whatever. I'm sure there's situations around there, but good point, Mark. I don't know if you ever get somebody to fully matter about third place, because does third place count does third place matter? I guess I don't know.
A lot of kids have it dead set in their mind. They're there to win it, and if they don't win it, it's a failure. So who gives a fuck what place they get, or if they even place? They failed.
Yeah.
If that's their mindset, it's real easy to justify walking out of it after you don't.
Yeah.
I can understand.
A whole nother story for a whole nother yak session.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, third place at Ironman, third place at Ironman, losing to the eventual champion probably is better than 15 state titles with 3 classes.
But yeah, it's definitely probably harder to finish in that. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely harder than winning state in Georgia, right?
8 classes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot there. All right, guys, we'll keep it there. I mean, we definitely
hold on, dog. Don't you go nowhere.
We turned this recap show into a yak session of sorts, but we will catch up again later in the week. We got the Dvorak coming up, so we will be previewing that and talking about some of the matches that are coming up, and should be a fun weekend. I believe that's on Sunday and Monday, which is obviously unique.
Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, Saturday, Sunday. Regardless, it's unique, but we'll get it. We'll preview it, and yeah, that's up next. Thanks, guys.